All right, bro, I'll look at this art real quick. Link me this shit. What are we even looking at? We're looking at concept art that was illustrated back like during Shadowlands times for use in the War Within. So take it with a huge grain of salt. So this looks like elemental water flowing around. Some kind of broken civilization. You have tide pools. Ancient elemental civilizations would be cool. You got magma flowing out of this, what appears to be igneous rock. Big pockets in it. Like what would form in like lava rock. 5 pillars. Interesting. Ooh, you got these cool light buildings. With maybe some kind of crystals or stone. Some of these symbols are actually kind of similar to some of the broker stuff, actually. Looks like little geysers, maybe? Geysers of light or glowing mushrooms or something. Crystals up on some big rocky outcrops. Interesting city. Almost kind of reminds me of like the Arathi kind of structure. Floating tower that looks like it came out of fucking Maldraxxus. Okay, so that's a thing. It almost looks like Valdrakken, Maldraxxus towers, Icecrown Citadel even. This almost reminds me of like Elemental Chaos from like D&D. Oh, wow. Wow, look at those. Yeah, a crystal and lightning powered balloon of some kind with big spherical objects that look like worlds shattered. This almost reminds me of the discordant memory things. Remember how you can trigger using your echoes in War Within, you can trigger the different levels of Azeroth memories? This kind of reminds me of the last one, the discordant one. So pretty interesting there. Bunch of fungus and coral, even looking stuff, potentially. Pulley system. Ancient buildings. Interesting. Pretty much the same. This looks like a cooler version of Ragnaros' room. With magma down at the bottom and like a maze that you'd have to kind of navigate over to get to the center. Almost gravity-defying liquid of some kind. It looks like a lava lamp. So again, I'm kind of inclined to think magma. No color associated with it, but some kind of ruined underground civilization. Maybe remnants of like a Black Empire city or something. Who knows? Ooh, more coral stuff. More water influence. Almost like lily pad looking things on the ground. Water draining down has spread the influence of the water. Oh, bioluminescence too. That's pretty cool. They almost look like hands coming up out of the ground. Or cacti. Same kind of thing. Growing downward, which is very interesting. Almost like stalactites. Oh, wow. Look at that. Massive construct sword. Big, almost helmet-looking thing over there. Looks like maybe a sword floating inside of some kind of... A lot of bones. Tons of mortal bones. So something bad happened here. Or something dangerous lurks here. Almost looks like water. Coming to life in some way. Some ancient beings with some big old ears. Looks like Yoda. Or Furbies. Some light crystals. Interesting. Could be arms and robes. But it looks like someone's holding something out. So it could be big old ears or helmets or arms being held up. Similar chamber. People coming down some vines here. Some more growth. Big demonic looking hand coming out of the ground with fire. In what appears to be maybe some kind of large summoning circle. Some kind of inner chamber that certainly looks titanic. You have some like Titan motifs along the wall over here. Looks like maybe a rift of some kind, allowing for old god eldritch horrors to come through. Big monolithic runic stones are not that rare in terms of this kind of motif, non-Euclidean architecture. Looks almost like something being born out of rot of some kind. Again, a lot of bioluminescence. Here's another image of something imprisoned inside of crystal. That looks a lot more like a Nazoth kind of thing in there. Head is similar. More bioluminescence. Yeah, a lot more water growths. Some kind of ancient skeleton. Maybe a sea creature or some type of... It's obviously predatorial with its teeth. Interesting pathways here. Kind of leading up. Big crystal up above as well, suspending the... This is really cool. More bioluminescent mushrooms. I like that. Even if there is no star, there's things that have light. I agree, Shinzai. It's likely they decided most of these were too stylistic or didn't fit the world that they were making. This is really cool. Either sea creatures. It's weird to see them all traveling together like this. It almost looks like maybe they were running away from something and they got frozen in here. This would be really cool, though. Imagine seeing that in WoW. Oh, wow. Wow. Look at that. Wow. Huge igneous rock formation. Looks a lot like the Maw. That looks a lot like the rock formations in the Maw. Or in Zereth Mortis. You remember? Those like hexagonal pillars of rock? Basalt. Thank you. Basalt. Not igneous. Yeah, basalt. Oh, wow. This is beautiful. Big fountain system. This reminds me of the Zandalari. And their waterways. Or the etchings on the floor in their temples at times. Really cool. I bet this down deeper towards the core? Potentially, but you have to understand something. Most of this is not going to be in the game at all. This is inspiration concept art that is used to kind of give formative thoughts to the creative process. You guys need to keep that in mind. But, is it possible that things more inspired by this artwork could be found in a lower layer of Azeroth? Yes. Yeah, I mean, obviously. Do you see any of this shit on the surface? No. So the idea that, like, maybe this is art that kind of insinuates an ancient, hidden, buried, once existing civilization is possible. Yeah. Yeah. But we don't, it's not like a, this is guaranteed to be in the game somewhere. Yeah, a lot of this stuff reminds me of Destiny as well. Eroded archways and stuff like this. Big crystal with a fish, as he calls it, in it. Don't know if I'd call this a fish. It looks like some kind of alien worm encased in a stasis prison that has 7 pillars around it, by the way. Yeah, this is a menagerie, perhaps. Now this reminds me of Argus, but yeah, with more like almost Sargeras-esque horns. Gives some Maldraxxus vibes too, yeah. Yeah, this is real interesting. At first glance, it gives me like almost El Dorado vibes because of the curvature of the rock. You see how like this, it reminds me of like serpent curvature and like Aztec ruins and stuff like that. Yeah, this is a really cool one. This is one of my favorite pieces out of this so far. It's also kind of scary because it almost looks like the mouth extends to like the whole entrance of the cavern and like the maw is just like gaping open. It's pretty cool. Reminds you of Star Wars. Can't make that make sense, but it reminds you of a docking bay. Yeah, and like the side of like a fucking Star Destroyer or something. Ooh, lots of plant life and growth. You see a lot of moss and overhanging roots and stuff going into a spiraled cavern. Very cool. Looks like an eye almost. Into a dark cavern. Forbidden butthole. This guy has no self-control. More of these walkways. There's a lot of this kind of thing. Subterranean walkways. Oh, I mean, if that doesn't make you think Lake of Rot from, like, Elden Ring, that's what I think there. The Lake of Rot kind of thing. Also Moria. Oh, look at these. Oh, wow. This kind of makes me think like a Nightwell almost, like just pillar of energy going up through some kind of thing. It almost looks like wax. Kind of reminds me of almost like wax, kobolds or something like that, but, you know. Yeah, candles. Yeah. Yeah. You see that? Yeah. Oh, those domes. That reminds me, that's, I mean, elves build like this too, but this gives me like big Titan vibes. You also see some buildings that look kind of like this in Mechagon. Yeah. You know what we could extrapolate from this, perhaps? We could possibly extrapolate what Metzen brought into the War Within and what was already there. Because this art's going to be based off of the key concepts they gave to the studio. Any themes or imagery that's notably absent is likely what Metzen brought in. Yeah, or gave redirection to. Like this reminds me of the Nathria, the Venthyr, right? With those real pointed tops. Reminds me of Gilneas a little bit. Little bit of Arathi vibes, but the pointed roofs are very almost Transylvanian, right? And this was all drawn during Shadowlands. Psycho, that's his point. He's saying that none of this would have Metzen's touch on it in terms of inspiration or anything. So what he's saying is, if this concept art was purposed for the War Within in any way, the differences that we could identify could be an indication of what Metzen kind of pushed for, right? Away from the otherworldly alien kind of stuff that we got in Shadowlands and back more towards a grounded kind of concept that you might get from, you know, your Dun Moreau or your more classic kind of areas, right? This is one of my favorites, man. This one is fucking crazy. There are huge jellyfish swimming underneath this layer of whatever is glass, crystal, I don't know what it is, in a building that either has like fallen from the roof or sunken into this or something. I like the idea of a building that's half built through a layer. So you go in through one layer, go through it, and you come out on the other layer. I love that. Almost interdimensional, like Karazhan, you know? Here's another one. These volcanic like runoff, it looks like, but it's so bright. And these pointed spires very much remind me of things you'd see in the Shadowlands. Very much remind me of like Maldraxxus buildings, Maw buildings even. Huge serpentine skeleton. Massive snake or worm of some kind. Massive. I mean, fucking huge. That's sick. The continuation of said skeletons, no wings on them, it appears. Almost like huge worms tunneling through the earth. Ending or connecting to... Wait a second. This is interesting because it's almost like they're suggesting these are old god tentacles, but old gods wouldn't have skeletons. If they're squids, they wouldn't have that. They wouldn't have vertebrae. Into a big Cthulhu head thing that the buildings seem to be clearly inspired from. That building has a rib cage on it. That is almost like a kraken head right there. A lot of bones. And then a huge snake head. Huge fucking snake head. That people live in. There's like windows in it. Old Gods X Maldraxxus. These almost look like just calcified horrors down here. Almost like calcified into the pillars themselves. This one appears to be cracking away at the surface, revealing something beneath. Energy of some kind or something like that. Couple eyes. This is inside of it. Organs, maybe growth. Ooh, this is interesting. This lava's falling down, but this black orb, maybe of like void or anti-gravity kind of energy, pushes it away. Almost like this is positively charged and this is also, I guess it'd have to be the same charge. And then it like pushes it away. It's really cool looking. Wow. Look at this. Huge fucking pillars. Clouds in them and stuff even. Man. Halls of light. Maybe some kind of substance held within crystals that light the hallway. Maybe some kind of large elemental core or something here. With water or lava around it. These are aqueducts. Like, no question about it. This guy's walking through an aqueduct. So massive underground water transport systems. Oh, wow, look at that. Big central tower, a couple different cubes with some kind of arc connecting them to another geometrical artifact of some kind above the building. Very alien looking. Not very wow looking, to be honest. In some type of crater, perhaps. Huge globules of glowing, maybe lightning-infused magma or energy. Wow, what the fuck? This looks like one of those like a rock you'd break a geode. Yeah, you'd break it open, it's got big crystals inside of it. And there's 3 of them that we can see. Glowing crystals inside. It's also so interesting to me how, like, this must be like an air-imbued crystal. I can't understand how else you'd be able to fly. This has to be some, like, air-imbued, like a kind of similar walkways. This huge, oh, these huge jutting pillars going across. I've seen these in Nyalotha. In the Prophet's Skitran fight, you can look behind him and there's huge pillars, like, going across, like there's like 2 walls and huge pillars that like go over it. Then here's this gigantic hand, which, I mean, the only thing I can really think of when I see this is Azeroth, you know? Giantess within the world kind of thing. You know, it's almost like what Argus was like almost kind of supposed to be, you know? The hand almost looks fleshy though. It doesn't necessarily look like stone. Big old fucking almost ritual circle of some kind, it looks like. Here's more. Yo, these are actual hexagons. These are actual hexagons, clearly. This looks exactly like the stuff from Zereth Mortis. Massive crystals here, dude. Look at these. Holy fucking shit. There's like cities built around them. More bioluminescence. Big spiral. Reminds me of like some of the Twilight designs. Ooh, big crystal fucking cave of some kind with some kind of big light source either to the surface or down to the core. That is fucking... The tight cave spaces make me claustrophobic. Pretty cool though. It's almost like where the top and the bottom meet, there's light. Kind of crystalline maw. Big eye. I love this one, dude. Oh. This is probably my favorite one. Huge eye. Probably easily seen as more feminine with the length of the eyelashes. Azeroth is gonna be flesh, dude. I'm telling you. Like, and she needs to be. I mean, mortals have the ultimate power. The 2 feminine hands and now this. I mean, yeah. This one coming up out of water. Almost like she's been drowned. Drowned, sleeping goddess type shit. Here's more. Almost like cupping around the edge of a cave. Then a big gross mouth thing. More crystals. Oh, wow. What the fuck? There's more of that, like, sphere thing. Interesting. This almost reminds me of, like, the Black Rock insignia. Triangular gateway with a circle in it. fragments that, yeah, it looks like here it twists and opens. This almost looks like some kind of celestial gateway. Wow, look at that. Holy fucking shit. Look at that. This is like a solar, this is like a cosmic map. Oh, this is some of the best fucking art in here. What the fuck? Look at these big ass gateways. Ancient looking gateways. They're gonna pull some shit on us where they're gonna be like, yeah, the Titans are an ancient race that actually came from Azeroth. And there's very few of them left. They're gonna be like the ancients from fucking Final Fantasy, watch. Reminds me very much of like Titan Facility type shit, especially this one. It's almost like a lid that comes floating off the top of this massive fucking hole. Yeah, there's some really cool art in here, dude. Really cool stuff. But yeah, remember, it's concept art. So let's go back to their description at the top just to remind everybody, real quick. West Studio had the pleasure of providing blue sky environment explorations. So unfettered, not bound by canon, not bound by in-game universe laws or anything. For Blizzard's latest 2 WoW expansions. For Blizzard's, sorry, latest World of Warcraft expansion, The War Within. Though much of the work was not directly used in-game, these early concept explorations served as useful pre-production inspiration that influenced the vision of several key locations that are in the final release. That is to say, that this is loose creative aid